Hey there, fellow travelers, Mark here with Wolters World, and today we're outside of Yellowstone National Park, and I think it's time for us to have a little safety talk about bears when you visit national parks. And the first thing I want you to realize is, look, the bears you see in the national parks, they are not your friends. They look cute and cuddly, but you look really tasty to them. You want to make sure you're staying away from them. You're not using them for your selfies. You're maintaining that distance that they recommend. You have that out there. Have that respect for them, because one thing you have to realize is when you're here, whether you're going to Yellowstone or Grand Teton or other parks around here, is those bears, they're not just in the park. It's not like they get to the line of the park and go, you know what, I'm good, I'm going to go back this way. No, they wander around. Actually, we're staying here in Idaho, it's about a 30-minute drive to the park, and there's bears in our neighborhood, okay? And so I think it's important for travelers to have an idea of what they should do, what they can do in case if there's bears or stuff like that, because they are gorgeous, and you will want to take a lot of pictures of them if you do get to see them, which is awesome. But there's ways you need to be safe, okay? And I think really when you need to think about it, you really have to have a healthy respect for the bears, okay, when you do come out and you do visit. So yes, like I said, you're trying to get your selfie with the bear, get that up close picture. That's why you have the telephoto lens, so it looks like you're up close, but you don't get too close. And I think one thing that's important is if you're going to be camping, right, or if you're going to be doing lots of hikes in the parks or around, it's important, one, to have bear spray, but also to know how to use the bear spray, because it's not just like getting a can of Raid and going, oh, we're done. No, bear spray, I mean, it's bear mace, basically, okay? And so there's a safety on it and stuff like that, and you got to make sure you know how to use it, because you don't want to be like, I've got the can of the bear spray, and there's the bear. What do I do? What do I do? No. Read the directions, understand how it works, the safety and things like that. And if the bear's coming at you, I pray to God it's not, remember, you want to spray at the bear, but do like 1 to 2 second like spurts, because if you sit there and do 8 seconds or 10 seconds or however long it is, you'll run out, and if you miss, you're out. So that's why they recommend, do the short bursts to see if you can, hit them. And the thing is, most of the time the bears are not going to bother you. They don't like you. They don't want to hang out with you. They don't want to selfie with you. They want to be left alone. And what's important with the bear spray is make sure you're looking to see the different bear sprays that are out there and buy, one that you think is going to be pretty good, because there are some variety in there in terms of how far it goes and how direct the stream is and stuff like that. So do have a heads up, just so you know what you're looking at if something happens. And the thing is, we've been driving around in gas stations we've seen in Wyoming and here in Idaho. They've actually sold the bear spray in the gas station, so you can pick it up relatively easily. Now, if you're coming during high season, they might be sold out. It might take a couple days to get it, but just know that you can pick some up. So another thing you need to think about is when you're going into the parks, or you're going to be camping around the parks and stuff like that, is realize that as much as you like your food, the bears like your food too. So you really need to think about how you're going to store your food. Just leaving all your food in your car, not a good idea. The bears, they could break a window or two, okay? So you want to be careful, and you want to make sure your food is properly stored. If you're taking food with you, if you're on a hike or something like that, make sure you're keeping that food packed away until the moment you're going to eat it. If you're going to eat it, sit, stop, eat it, get your wrapper, put it in the container, put it back in your bag, okay? Because you don't want that smell wafting around and you have the Yogi Bear going, ooh, I smell something good, boo-boo. You don't want that, okay? So make sure you're sealing your stuff up correctly. And the thing is, that's why you'll see bear-proof garbage cans, bear-proof cans in general to store stuff. Make sure you're using those, especially if you're going to be camping in the parks. They have storage areas to help you out, but it's also a good idea to bring your own stuff. And that's what's funny is if you go to the Grizzly and Wolf Center in West Yellowstone, they actually test bear proofiness on things. And so they're like, for those garbage cans or coolers and things like that, you do want to make sure you have the right kind of stuff to store it. Now, if you are going to be camping, you don't have the storage stuff, what they recommend is make sure you store your stuff at least 10 feet high and 4 feet from a tree, so the bears can't get it, because it's right on the tree. Well, a lot of them can just climb the tree. So they recommend putting a line between 2 trees and hanging it there, just to keep it out of the way. And I think it's really important to remember, don't think that any cooler or any bag or any can is going to be bear proof, okay? Make sure you're using the stuff that is the actual bear proof. And one thing is, when you're using the trash cans and you're using things around the parks and stuff like that, you'll see bear-proof garbage cans, and you might have a hard time figuring it out to open it. It's okay, the bears have a hard time too. You put your finger or your thumb in there and there's a little latch, which is you put it in and then you just slide it over and then you lift up the lid of the garbage can to put your stuff in. Also, it's a good idea if you're gonna have garbage, whether you're in a cabin or something like that, and you're gonna have these, the bear-proof garbage cans, make sure you keep everything in one big plastic bag, like one big garbage bag, and put the garbage bag into the garbage can, not just throw an individual garbage in there. Now, another thing you have to think about is we've seen quite a few people on YouTube and quite a few of our friends that have been here. They've been on a hike and, oh, there's a bear. Like, what do we do? I mean, honestly, there could be a bear walking around here. You never know. And so it's important to be vigilant when you are hiking, and some things you can do to kind of help prevent bears getting too close. One is just talking. Go walk in a group, go hike in a group so you're talking to each other. Because the bears will a lot of times just get scared off because they don't want to deal with you. They don't like the paparazzi tourists taking pictures of them. So be in a group, talk, because that kind of warns the bears so they might wander off or get out of the way. Do be careful, like if you're going by a stream or a creek or something like that where the water's going, make sure you're checking it out before you go. Maybe talk a little bit louder, I don't know. But you want to think about that. Also, if you're on a trail and it's got a turn, don't be like really quiet and then come around the turn like, oh, surprise them. That's why you're making the noise. That's why it's good to always hike in a group, because if something does happen or there is something, or if you get hurt, not by a bear or by something else, you have somebody that can get help. Because I'll tell you, you're not always going to get self-service inside Yellowstone or Grand Tetons or other places. The thing is, you can enjoy the bears when you're here. You can see them from a distance. Heck, you might have a bear jam as they walk across the road while you're driving around Yellowstone and be like, oh my God, they're right there. And they might come up near your car and stuff, but don't be like reaching out and stuff like that. I mean, you can enjoy the bears and see their beauty and the majesty of the bears here. That's not a problem, but I want you to be safe when you're enjoying it. So I hope these tips can help you enjoy more of the bear necessities when you come here to Yellowstone, dun-dun-dun, or wherever you're gonna see it. Anyway, if you wanna learn more, some other don'ts of visiting Yellowstone, but they're more like do's and don'ts of Yellowstone, we have that. If you wanna have some of Jocelyn's advice of traveling in the parks, check out her video as well, and we wish you all the best. Have a great time here, whether in Yellowstone, Grand Tetons, Rocky Mountain National Park, wherever you're gonna go. I hope you have a great time traveling. If you like videos like this, I should say, hit that subscribe button. We put out new travel videos every Wednesday and Saturday, so have a great time, and I hope you have a great time because I'm not gonna lie. Yellowstone is it's not unbearable, it's unbelievable. So I can't really find a pun for that, so whatever. Have a great time, I'll see you later. Bye from here outside of Yellowstone National Park.